celebration of life for the woman who gave birth to me here on planet Earth. At such a time as this, Maureen Ann Siblo, I love you, and I remember you. Thank you for joining me. You are joining me. You are joining us. Because you are now liberated from a body that held you prison for 71 years. Join us here at Cheshire Manor on the day I found out that you had passed on. We start with one. Just me in the room, in the virtual room. Just me under this tree, the Cheshire Manor tree. The one that has held my tears. Just earlier, I held the trunk of that tree. Watch. It's okay to cry. It's okay to cry. I don't have to perform. I held this tree. It's a little hard to hold a tree and hi Aaron. Thank you for joining me. So I'll tell you the story. The story of Maureen Ann Siblo as I know it. To a woman named Maureen Ann Siblo. You know, I didn't even realize she had a middle name until today. You know how I found that out? By looking at her life insurance policy that my uncle gave to me years ago. I haven't called about it yet. Right now, the most important thing to me right now is remembering my mother. Sorry to say I was not there when she passed into the next zone. I was not there when she transitioned, and that was a choice that I made because my physical body cannot be in both Schenectady, New York and here in Slab City. However, I will say that since I understood language, my mother said over and over that one day we were going to San Diego, California. Maureen, I did not make it to San Diego, California, but I made it. I think what she meant was Slab City, California. Her spirit knew that I was meant to. We were meant to be here. So I'm calling her in to celebrate her life. And I believe that she only had love and good intentions for me, or I would not call her in to join this celebration of life. Thank you for joining me in the live chat. Yes, you're welcome, Aaron. You are absolutely welcome. Yes, this is a good story. I think it's a happy story. I'm here. I'm here. She gave birth to me in 1973 in Ellenville, New York. Actually, Warsaw, New York. Look what I'm dressed in. This is a celebration of life dress, and I am barefoot. Perhaps, actually, I did do past life work. I don't know what people's worldviews are here, but I've done a lot of deep work to get past the suffering that most of us seem to go through here on planet Earth. I did breath work. And I did a lot of healing, and that's why I can celebrate her life. Because for years I lived as a victim. And I was, through breath work, I was able to work through and heal. And I forgave her in 2017 in the most unusual circumstances. But let me tell her story. I told you, I promised you a story. So they, I don't know who they was, maybe it was a landlord, maybe it was her boyfriend Richard. Somebody found her dead in her apartment May 15th, 2024. In Schenectady, New York. That is where she was living in her body. Now she's liberated. Body, folks. She's liberated from a body that tormented her. Okay, so she gave birth to me July 18th, 1973. And I believe, I don't know if she wanted me or not. She met my father in New Paltz Community College, New Paltz, New York College. And they were art students together. So they met me in class and they gave birth to me. He was put into a mental hospital, in and out of a mental institute. They both had schizophrenia. So they both were on a different dimension, a different reality zone. And I know that society labels schizophrenia as, you know, it's like people have a hard time relating to reality, to the reality that we call planet Earth, where literally we are watching before our eyes 8 billion people, most of which are decimating this planet. We are seeing it with our own eyes. That is why I came to the last free place on Earth. That is why I came here to Slab City, because I am so sick and tired of being a cog in the wheel. I am tired. I am sick at heart of doing what everyone else is doing and sees as normal as we wipe our asses and our vaginas with trees, forests that we are, you know, literally robbing from indigenous people. Let's just call it what it is, right? We are taking homes away from the last indigenous tribes on the Amazon forest, and then we make toilet paper to wipe our asses and our pussies. It's like, is that like a fuck you to nature? To our mother that I now stand barefooted. I have been afraid to stand on my mother barefooted, but I'm not gonna do that anymore. I'm gonna walk without shoes most of the time. So here I go. She gave birth to me. Two schizophrenic parents gave birth to me. My father went in and out of mental institutions. My mother at some point taught me to go to the bathroom and wipe myself with, you know, the toilet paper that we all use from our decimated forests. You know, we can change that. We can use bamboo toilet paper. They sell it at grocery outlet. I just saw it the other day. I'm like, I'm going to start using that from now on. Wisdom, you are here. I invited you to come live with me when you're ready. Yeah, May 15th, they found my mother dead in her apartment. And I apologized to my mother for not being there during her transition. But I am welcoming her now to her celebration of liberation and life. She's now free from her body. So I wanted to invite you to my celebration ceremony. I've cried my tears, and it's time to celebrate. So, but let me finish the story. So, I lived with her from the ages of birth until I was 10 years old. We'll get to that in a minute. But as soon soon as I could walk, I decided I wanted to run away and explore the world on my terms. And so I did. And my mother had a really hard time. Something just blipped me in the ear. I think she might be here. Hi, Mom. The seed just went in my ear. Okay, you're not my mother anymore. You're just energy now. Maureen Siblo is here to tell me that she is here. I'm sorry. I know it might seem weird. It's okay. So she's liberated from her body, and she has joined me here on the other side, and she has good intentions. Love always wins. So I lived with her until I was 10 years old, but I told you that I was telling you that I ran away from her as soon as I could walk. And it wasn't necessarily because I wanted to run away from her, although I've told my story that. It's just that I wanted to explore the world, outside of the little apartment buildings. So I did. But then I got scooped up by the police and put away in my first foster home at age 4. And that was quite a rude awakening. We were put into a one room. I'm not going to go into all the gory details, but it wasn't good. We were put into a room with several other children who did mean things. Let's just leave it that. But I still found my bliss. And one day when I was alone, they had a swing set, and I found myself swinging on that swing set, happy and full of energy in my body. And I said to myself, I'm going to have a better life. Yes. And I manifested my way out of that foster home, back with my mother, and I lived with her until I was 10. Hi, Rod Ostrich. Thank you for joining me in this celebration of life for my mother, Maureen Ann Siblo. So I grew up from ages 5 to 10 with her. So we lived in low-income housing apartments, but she always had a safe haven for the most part. She had she kept the house spotless. The woman pretty much spent her days cleaning. And then every once in a while she'd turn to me and say, I love my cute little Swedish, English, Irish, Italian, German daughter, and squeeze my cheeks as hard as she could so I would never forget that she loved me. And then she'd go back to working, cleaning the house. And once a month we'd go out grocery shopping, in which case I got to haul the old lady two-wheeled cart. It was my job to haul the grocery cart, and I hated it. And I remember I would run off. One day I ran off because I didn't want to do my job. I was so tired of it. I ran away to the neighborhood. It was shopping day, and it was I shirked my duty, folks. I shirked my duty, and she came after me, yelling and screaming, and she was not happy with me at all. And I still ran off. We did not go shopping that day. We must have went shopping the next day. I had my fun. So we would walk. I'm telling you, it was like a 4-mile walk across Poughkeepsie to the shopping mall area. There was like a Kmart, grocery, I don't know, it was a grocery store. Grand Union. Oh my God, we went to the Grand Union. Do you guys remember Grand Union? Okay, so this is a celebration of life, so we're going to stay on topic here. You're welcome to message me about any other questions. So, onward to my story. So, my fondest memories are of us going grocery shopping together at like 8 o'clock at night after dark. And she had to do laundry. I don't know how we did it. Oh, she would call a taxi so we wouldn't have to walk all the way back home. Because, you know, back then she's on welfare. So she planned it so that we would walk half of the way. Then, you know, we'd load up on the groceries. And then she was really a great mother. She was not, you know, on the same plane, but she took care of our basic needs, man. Let me tell you. I know, I resisted. I resisted. So, my greatest memory is of us after we have finished the laundry, after we have finished grocery shopping, and we sit in front of the grocery store at 10 o'clock at night. She would bust open a bag of Cheetos, and we would just be so hungry. We would be so hungry, and we would just bow. Oh my gosh. Yeah. That was our meal. I can't believe I find that so funny. After all these years, right? But yes. So okay, so then it wouldn't just be a bag. I know this wasn't the healthiest food for, you know, a 7-year-old girl growing up, but I don't even remember if I had anything healthy. It's just, you know, a bag of Cheetos and then Cheez-Its. We loved our cheese, folks. I'm talking too close because on this day of celebration of life, it's blowing 30 miles an hour. Nobody wants to come to my party in a 30 mile per hour. Can you blame them? You guys are all like comfortable behind your computer watching the show. Look at the scene. And I just went and peed in a bush, and you didn't even know it because I peed standing up. I know how to do that. It's a great skill for a girl to have. It's a survival skill. Think about it. For a woman to be able to pee standing up without toilet paper, I didn't need it. You don't need toilet paper, women, to pee standing up if you do it in such a fashion. Enough said on that. I'm doing great. Thank you, Rebecca, for joining this celebration of life. I really appreciate you being here. Y'all are my friends. Oh, let me show you. I guess now is a good time. I just told a funny story about my mother. There's my shade structure. Can you see it? Well, let's try turning the camera around. All right. right, so I am the one and only daughter of Maureen Ann Siblo. I can't figure out how to turn the camera around. And I want you to know that I have to mask this because of YouTube rules, but I did take a special medicine, plant medicine, because I wanted to touch the other side better than my programmed mind allows me to. Leave it at that. But it's a safe plant medicine in its natural form. That's all we have to say. Okay, here we go. Let's look at what the daughter of Maureen Ann Siblo, where is her daughter living? She's with me now. In her spirit form, I believe that. Let me know in a very unusual way. Stepping out of her body of turmoil, torment, into the spirit world, which is our ultimate goal. So here it is. This is in preparation for where I will see when it's too hot to use the van. But notice the miracle that's going on. We have all the doors open. No wind is getting inside of the van. So it's blowing at about 36 miles per hour. With 36 mile per hour gusts. All Hallows. Oh, that's beautiful. You're the daughter of Judith Gale Bess, and celebrate the life she lived daily. That's beautiful. Oh, thank you, Erin. Yeah, I want to share more about Maureen Ann Siblo. So I have a half-brother, Sean. Sean Siblo still lives. He's 7 years younger than me, and he is I believe that he's at the Anderson School in New York for adults. He's 43 years old. He's autistic, and he never learned to speak. So I have to let him know probably tomorrow. I wish I could let him join this celebration. He can watch it. He won't be able to watch it. Being that he's nonverbal, he probably is in touch with the spirit world too. Sean Siblo, come join us. With good intentions only. With good intentions only. Okay, so we all make choices in this life. And we label those choices. I followed my heart here to Slab City because in my heart I believe that when humanity is stripped away from religion, government, that we can create something better. When we are not controlled by religion, governments, and people that get a hold of millions and billions of dollars and decide that they think that they control us because they have more money. No, that's not correct. That is not correct. aware, and I'm not trying to control humanity. This is my message for Maureen Ann Siblo and all of you today. Let us unify and harmonize with love. Let's learn to communicate through differences. Okay, unforgiveness creates a wall. I thought, okay, it's just something moved under my feet. Unforgiveness creates a wall, a barrier. And when we forgive those, whether intentionally or unintentionally, we free ourselves. Okay, I'm not saying that the harm that people do against us is right. Okay, no. The law of the universe is harm none, right? Harm none. But when people choose to harm us, the way to free ourselves is to forgive. And what happens is there is an energetic, I don't know how it happens, but my mother, I forgave her in 2017. Well, I didn't finish telling my story. Let's rewind a bit. So, one of my fondest memories is of us eating cheese snacks, Cheez-Its, Cheetos in front of Grand Union in Poughkeepsie, New York, right next to the Kmart after we went laundry. Went to the laundromat, and I had walked 4 miles, so it's like 10 o'clock at night, and we're just exhausted. And that is our dinner. So, and then she would call a cab, and we would drive home with our laundry and our groceries, completely exhausted, and fall into bed asleep. So this was my life from ages, from after I was put into foster home from ages 4 to 5. Went back with her from ages 5 to 10. And that was, kind of a rinse and repeat. Like, she would keep the house clean, she would put food on the table. She was on welfare. She had 2 children, my half-brother Sean and myself. So our house was very minimalistic. She was not, so we had like a card table and 4 metal chairs. And we had a dresser in the living room with one of those old tube TVs. And there was a radio on the card table, always playing the latest rock music in the 70s. So we're talking the 70s and 80s. So if the radio wasn't playing at night, she would turn the radio off and the television would come on, and we would watch. I don't remember her being in the room with me. I think she would literally just be in the kitchen cleaning. And if she wasn't in the kitchen, she was in the bathroom cleaning. And when she wasn't in the bathroom, I guess I don't realize how much of a mess kids make. As a kid, I was making messes, and she was probably just cleaning up after me all day long. If that's not love, I don't know what is. But I never, she wouldn't sit there and watch the television shows with me. She wouldn't sit there and listen to the radio. I don't remember her being there. I just remember her cleaning from sunup until sundown. And then she'd go to bed. She'd put me to bed. I think she might have watched her own television shows. And then she had her own bedroom. So I didn't sleep in bed with her. She had her own bedroom, I had my own bedroom, and my brother Sean was in a crib in the middle of, he didn't even have his his own bedroom. So I slept on the porch. So we're talking 1978. Let's see, I was so now I'm remembering when I'm about 8 years old. So we were in Roosevelt Apartments, and I slept on the porch. So she made the porch into a bedroom. So I had like a twin bed, and I had a bunch of toys that my grandfather Vito. Guess what nationality we were? Grandpa Vito, who lived in Long Island, Central Islip, Long Island, New York. Grandpa Vito would send me toys. And I had Barbie dolls, which I didn't really play with. I wasn't a Barbie doll kind of girl. You can leave the room. I'm not really interested in religion. I have left religion. Go away. This is not the place for you. How do I ban you? Remove. Goodbye. Nope. No religion. Done with that. Wow, I feel so empowering. Like I physically removed myself from religion. The religion that bound me for 24 years and tried to put my sexuality in a box. Sexuality does not belong in little boxes, folks. And I think we all know that deep inside. It's a construct of, I'm not going to say, it's a construct that a certain people group have created to try and manipulate and control other people. I'm done with that. Nope, don't need it in this room. Thank you for being here. Let's carry on with our story. So, wow, that felt so liberating. You know? Religion is a personal decision. I have chosen to leave all organized religion and embrace spirituality. That's it. Spirituality that brought us to this present place we are in our evolution or whatever is happening. However, we got this far. I need to take a drink of water. So I'm still sharing my story of Maureen Ann Siblo. You're in the right place. Thank you for joining us. I am wearing a past life celebratory dress today for the celebration of life. I have wept many tears today, and you are here for the celebratory part and the story of her life. And I'm trying to tell it in a cohesive way. Hang in there with me, folks. Thank you, Richard. Oh, love the YouTube channel. Thank you so much. Thank you. Sending love to you. Yeah, there are no rattlesnakes here. They may be in their holes. There are a lot of holes here. They know to stay away. They're quietly celebrating in their holes with me. They're part of nature. I mean them no harm, and they mean no harm to me. It's just that when we surprise them, you know, when they're just hanging out, trying to exist, and they just show us that it's not cool to step on them, and they hiss and they rattle, and they want, you know, they're badasses, and I mean them no harm, and they mean me no harm. They're not chasing after me. They're just living their lives. I'm living my life. But it is helpful to know about them and their habitat and treat them with respect and leave them alone. Simple. They have a job to do. Their job is to take care of the rodents. They eat rodents. Otherwise, well, I live off grid. They terrorize. The rodents will come into our vehicles. I have had no rodents visitors in my van, and my doors are wide open, folks. So we have cats, we have snakes that are doing their job, and I am thankful to them. Back to the celebration of life from Maureen Ann Siblo. I'm talking into the microphone here because it's a windy day, and I broke my I broke my mic stand. I sat on it, folks. So I have this muff that I have to hold, or I could just let it dangle, but then no, that doesn't work. Let's try this. Yeah, it's kind of a weird situation here. Okay. Wow. Okay. So that works. I won't describe what's going on. The microphone is where it needs to be. Can everyone hear me okay? Your parents are still alive, Aaron. You're blessed. Yeah, that's awesome. So now both of my parents are deceased. I knew when I left the East Coast I wasn't coming back. So that's why I'm choosing to do the celebration of life this way. I have arranged for her to be buried. She's the state of New York are taking care of her remains. But this is the true celebration. The mourning has occurred. And now we celebrate that she has moved from her body of suffering into bliss, which is what we all want in this life too, right? Yes. Okay, so I have many happy memories. Like, she took me out trick-or-treating. She would buy those plastic Halloween costumes. Remember those in the 70s? And I still remember, can you smell them? I forget what costumes I wear. Unfortunately, all of my photographs are in her apartment. And I don't know what the state of New York will do with all of her belongings, but I don't have the resources to go traveling back, rummaging through her things. If I could travel space and time, if I could teleport, Richard, I'm gonna be just fine. I'm with people that have gone through summer and survived, and I'm with a woman, dream catcher. She has gone through summer. How many summers did she say? Like 8 summers. She's a summer pro. She's already showing me the way. Shade is number 1. So, yeah. You had a Raggedy Ann costume, a plastic one. Can you still smell the plastic? I forget what I was. That's why if I could keep anything of my mother's, I'd want photographs. You know, the little Polaroids, she took pictures. Like, we had some good times. I know we did. But she was also hyper vigilant and hyper focused at cleaning. She was definitely obsessive compulsive about cleaning, which I'm grateful for. I am so grateful that she loved to clean. I don't love to clean, but I know how to clean because of her. She would, oh my God. So, folks, I'm not gonna lie to you. I was a handful as a little girl. I was a hyper little girl. I had so much energy. Like, she had a terrible time trying to keep me cooped up in the house. I would break out of the house. I found ways to get out of the house, to go run the neighborhood, and I wasn't even getting into trouble. I just wanted to see the world. Like, I didn't have bad intentions, and I still don't. Aaron had a plastic Barbie costume. He looked like a hostage. you can still smell the plastic too. Oh my God, that's so funny. Yes, Richard, I am careful. I am probably in one of the safest places in Slab City. I think so. I believe that, honestly. I've always, wherever I've been, like, even though I've had moments of trauma here and there, isolated moments of trauma, I've found my way back to safety, and I am safe here. This is a bubble of safety. This is a healing center, folks. This is Wonderland Healing Incorporated, LLC. We're about to become an LLC. Wonderland Healing Covenant. Aaron, you still carry paper picks? You don't know why. You still have a great brain. That's awesome. That's beautiful. Like, you know, we had some pretty tough times. You know? My mother, she was in a different. So what happened? Maureen Ann Siblo became schizophrenic during a traumatic event. So my Uncle Tommy, her brother, told me like this. They lost their mother when she was 16 years old, and she disassociated from reality and went into the realm of schizophrenia. Yeah, and she raised 2 children, which is quite extraordinary. And she did not, she did not harm us. She took care of us. I mean, there were isolated episodes where she lost her temper, as parents do, and like I'd get hit in the face or whatnot, but you know, we all have those capabilities, and we all, you know, get to our breaking point. People can push us over the edge. But overall, like I said, she took care of us, she fed us, she clothed us, she found clothes that fit us. I was a styling kid in the 70s, man. I wish I could like blip in a picture, but picture this. I'm like this badass 7-year-old, and I'm just like, I don't gender conform really, but I did have this 70s zip-up coat with, it was cobalt blue with white daisies all over it. And I was, oh man, I sported that coat. That was my favorite coat at 7 years old. And I wore it until the sleeves didn't fit me anymore. And I had like 3 inches left. But it was my favorite. And then I had my little blue jeans and my Mickey Mouse sneakers. I was a styling 70s girl, man. I would skip and I would hop through. So now we're like, so we moved a couple of times. After I was put back to live with my mother, we moved 2 more times. So first it was, we lived in the back of a house. It was like this old Victorian house. And then from there we moved to 2 like medium high-rise apartment buildings. One was Roosevelt Avenue and the other one was, I forget the name. So they were these tall brick buildings. So, and we lived in a number of homes like before I was taken away from foster care. Like, my mother was, at her heart, was nomadic, but she refused to drive a vehicle. That was one thing about her. She was afraid to drive a vehicle. You loved your 3-prong leather belt with your bell bottoms. I hated bell bottoms. Oh my God. No, it was either, for me, it was straight. Actually, in my teens, I discovered that I don't like even, not only do I not like bell bottoms, I don't even like straight legs. I gotta be wearing parachute pants. I want the pant bottoms to be closed. I don't like open. Now I do have a pair of jeans, but I only wear those to climb up on the roof of the van. Those are like my work jeans. But everyday clothing, I have to have my khaki parachute pants because I don't like dust. I don't know what it is. It's just a preference, folks. I don't have to go deep on that. Do you know what I'm talking about? The closed bottoms, like not carrot pants, the carrot bottoms, but there's like a spandex at the bottom and it like hugs the ankles tight. So no, like, there's no airflow, but the pants themselves breathe. So I'm getting plenty of airflow. And I like the pants to be like really balloony, you know, parachute pants. Those are my favorite pants. So I've never really been much into skirts or dresses, but I'm wearing this dress here as a celebration of life for Maureen Ann Siblo, as I am remembering the good old times in the 70s and 80s. So I lived with her until I was 10 years old, folks. And the day came, the very unexpected day came, where I was walking home from public school. I walked myself back and forth from school. I was in the 3rd grade. I'll never forget it. Now that she's gone to the other side, I could tell this. No, this is what happened. So I was on my way back home from school, and it was a bright sunny day. And as I'm getting close to our Roosevelt Avenue apartment, there's one person I didn't invite to this party. I need to invite them. Okay. Just let this person go by. It's a little bit reminiscent of what it was like for my mother. So I'm walking back from school. I've got my book bag. I'm sporting my Mickey Mouse sneakers. I'm pretty sure of it. Well, I'm 10, so I probably grew out of the Mickey Mouse sneakers by then. But as I'm approaching the apartment, I notice that there are police car lights going around and around. I'm like, what the heck? What's going on? You know? So I get closer and closer. Y'all want to hear the story? Tell me in the chat, because this is really significant here. I'm seeing questions that are not related, so I'm like wondering where you guys are at. Food prep. All my food is now in glass or in my fridge, because here in Slab City, it gets up to 120 plus degrees, and in a vehicle, it gets even hotter. So I'm watching I'm watching the wind. You know, there's a reason why people have solid roofs. I have a hay tarp that's over the roof of my van. And I'm watching as it's starting to fray. I'm watching the rip. See that rip in the middle? I'm watching that. So I'm gonna have to go over with some Gorilla tape. Or I could just let it be, but I think what's gonna happen is nature's just gonna, the wind wants to go through that. So you know what I think I should do? Is let it get a little bigger. Let the wind, okay, let's work with nature here, not against it, okay? Because I gotta work with what I have. Okay, I have limited financial resources. This is not, I'm not trying to be a victim here. I'm telling you the reality. Okay, I got fired from my last fucking job in Babylon, February 15th, 2023, and I decided I had had enough. I had enough of being bullied in the workplace, because that's what happened. I stood up for myself, folks, and I got fired for standing up for myself. And I have had enough. And now I'm here in Slab City because I'm not going back to Babylon. I'm going to make this work. Okay? I'm not going back. I'm not going back to a freaking real job. Nope. Folks, that don't work for me, okay? I've tried for the last, since 2010, I got fired from my last Christian school job. I was done with that. I was ready to leave Christianity. That was perfect. I don't left Christianity, folks. You heard it. Okay. I ran away to the communes. Here, let's look at me while I'm telling this story now. This is part of the celebration of Maureen Ann Siblo. This is the story of her daughter, the woman that she gave birth to, that is celebrating her life. This is what I have become. We went through the system together, you know. I got taken away. I came home to a police car with all of a sudden, my social worker, Mrs. Schaefer, steps out of the driver's side. Mrs. Schaefer was her name. I remember. And she says, "Gloria, come with me. We're leaving." And I was like, what? And then I see my mother coming, pushing the stroller. And she's running with my brother, Sean. And she's screaming. She says, "Don't take my daughter. You're not taking my daughter." She's screaming. And they get my brother. I don't know how they did it. I think Mrs. Schaefer grabbed up my brother. And then there were two police officers, and they restrained her. And they're like, "You're going to get her things. You're going to get these children's things." I don't know how they got her into her apartment. We had one floor we had to climb, and they're hoisting her up the stairs into the apartment, and she's screaming, and Mrs. Schaefer's holding my brother Sean. I don't remember if he was crying. It all happened so fast, folks. And she's like, "Get whatever you want, you get your things, and we're going." So like, I was just stunned. I got a red sweater. I got my red acrylic button-down longs. I still remember the color of it. I got a long acrylic sweater, button-down. I picked up a golden book. I don't remember what it was. Maybe it'll come to me. And I picked up a couple Rubik's Cubes because I collected those. And that was it, folks. The clothes on my back, a book, a couple Rubik's Cubes, my Rubik's Cube collection, or part of it, my favorite ones, and my brother got put into the back seat of a police car, and we were taken away, And I was one tear rolled down. I held it in, folks. One tear rolled down because I knew that the good times were over. But that's not true. The good times of childhood with my mother were over. So we were put into foster care together. And I know that it broke her heart to have children. And all she did was take care of us the best she could. Thank you, Maureen Ann Siblo! I thank you for giving birth to me at such a time as this, and taking care of me and my brother Sean, only to have us taken away. But thank you for the time and the love that you put into taking care of us. You had good intentions, and I thank you. From the bottom of my heart, I love you. Thank you. We celebrate you because you matter, Maureen Ann Siblo. And there are 13 people here in this live that are witnesses to this celebration of life and Thanksgiving. And this is, folks, this is a living example of how we heal. We forgive. You know, she did do harm to me once. I don't need to go into the details. And I forgave her. She lost control. She lost control. You know, she slapped me over and over and pulled my hair. I forgive her. I forgave her. But there are far more heinous crimes that are done to children that a lot of us are still carrying. There are people that have been daily beaten. I did not go through daily beatings. Okay? Like I said, my mother spent her days cleaning and cooking. Okay? She taught me to walk myself to school. And back in the 70s, children walked themselves to school. It's just what we were able to do. She never learned to drive a vehicle. She refused. For whatever reason, she had fear of driving. And she was very much a city person. She passed away in Schenectady, New York. I don't know how long her body was sitting before she was discovered. And I told her, sorry that I was not there with you in body when you passed on, but now I welcome your spirit together with these people online, 10 people in this room, and the people that chose to leave, that's fine too. They were here, they witnessed this. I welcome you into the spirit world of bliss, of love, which is what we all want while we're here in our bodies, here on planet Earth. Here we are at Cheshire Manor, celebrating the life of Maureen Ann Siblo. With her daughter, Gloria Amy Brooks, and what I have become. That's right, each day is a new beginning. The best way to heal and to be our best selves that I have found, and I cannot speak for other people and your experience, but through forgiveness, is through forgiving the wrongdoing and the trauma I have healed. And healing is an ongoing process. We can attain bliss here in our current reality. So one of the things I've discovered recently is I'm going back to meditating more seriously in the morning. I had embraced meditation back in 2020. Okay, so I found meditation 2020. So from 2020 to 2021. So about a year. I was meditating for a year before I joined my partner for 2 years. My mother knew of Marcy. So my mother and I have kept in touch off and on over the years, mostly through telephone. She wanted to do snail mail, but I just, being that we're in the digital age, I just petered out with snail mail. I'm sorry I did, but eventually I just stopped communicating through that. So we would do phone calls. At first it was once every few years. Okay, and then it ended up being once a year. And then towards the end of her life, she was reaching out to me more and more. And so the last time we talked was about 6 months ago. Conversation. And yeah, we're continuing that conversation right now. Now that she's liberated from a body and a mind that tortured her. Now she's liberated from that. To her true and you were witnesses of that, and I am so grateful that you were here witnessing that today. And I invite you to my new store, a new shop. I know this sounds kind of weird, but it's not. I've created art over the years, and I have put it on merchandise. Link in the description if you care to look at my shop. You're welcome to do that. Or not. It's up to you. If you feel so inspired, check it out. And I wish I could say I was wearing my own t-shirts. But I'm not. And I don't need to go into one. Doesn't matter. The invitation is there for you if you so choose. And if you let's just leave it at that. I appreciate you joining today, celebrating life of Maureen Ann Siblo, who I can honestly say had good intentions for myself and my brother Sean. And I love you, Maureen Ann Siblo. And I am grateful that you were here with us. And I will see you all in the next video. Bye for now.